Hello YouTube, this is Uni Young, your usual Chinese ethnomusicologist. As you can see, this is definitely not Chinese music related stuff, but then I will interrupt your usual broadcasting with my new engrossment, Manor Lords. So for those who are playing this game, first of all, definitely check out Strat and Tacticat and their insights about how to build the perfect city in this game. Now, I'm usually not a game YouTuber, so I'm just quickly diving in to give some insights and a reply to a previous video released by Tactica about proper city placement and Burgage plot placements. First of all, let's talk about my city. Usually, I like to lay out my city in a 八卦 shaped form, or a octagonal formation that I will explain to you with this image right here. That I'm going to be using a 先天八卦 here for reasons I will now explain. First of all, the Burgage plots are best placed or best used in terms of space when it comes to placing them in a fan shape, and the best way to produce these fan shapes is if you have a radiating octagonal shape going outward, well, merged in partially with a circle as well, which is what I have with this city here. It's still in the early game, as you can see, and I'm just situating this run in the middle of the map. I can, of course, place this in any other plots that you can start with, any other region that you can start in the game. Now, how do you determine whether a run is good or not? First of all, you take a look at where you are situated. It could be on the side or in the middle. In this case, it's in the middle. I expect a lot of raids to come my way soon. But take a look at what I have on this region. Let's see, I have a rich deposit of clay and iron. Both are mining related, so that means I will later on develop with the deep mining in this region. This will be my specialty. Let's take a look at the next thing, fertility. If you just take a look at flax and barley, you basically have a pretty clear idea of what your situation is. So this region is not suited for really farming of any sort unless you go take the technology for rye. I'm still figuring out whether I should take the rye technology or not because it requires orchardry first. Orchardry should definitely be part of this since I'm not going to be starting farms for flax and barley in this region. So as a way of creating more food and having a commodity to export, that's definitely on the list. More to explain that later. So if you take a look at the adjacent regions, you can see that this region here, Immenreuth, has the farming region, with flax and barley being the good ones as well, not rye as well, but we won't be using that here. Rye is for the backup solution for those poor regions. Same thing here for Goldolf here as well, but it's a small region. I might not be building there. So if I think about having later my second city being in Immenreuth, focusing on just farming, probably not gonna have a deep mine for this clay deposit if I already have it in the capital region. And I just specialize in farming later on here, and then build my orchard and vegetable patch city here, focused on trading. Then I will have a synergy between the two. If I really wanted to, I can have a third region where I need to look for, oh, here we go, a wild animal region, because if you look at the policies, there is, at least as of early access 0.7.955, hunting grounds gives twice as fast wild animal respawn rate at the cost of 50% reduced yields from crops. So you don't want this perk to be in a region where you're going to do intensive flax and barley or agricultural intensive region. So this region is perfect. So if this region is to specialize for wild animals, and hunting, and this region goes to farming, and this region for trade, I will basically have an iron triangle that will cover every kind of build that I need. So remember, you only have 6 development points for each city. So if I go for the trade city here, obviously 2 points all the way to better deals. I have deep mining here, so another 2 points for deep mining. That leaves me at 2. Now, I could either go for orchardry and rye, or I could go orchardry and sheep breeding, and then I could use that sheep for wool, which is a good way to keep things going. Of course, I could always have sheep breeding and then going to fertilization in the agricultural city. That way I can have a full fertilized kind of a field build, but maybe I can afford 2 of them, I don't know. Do I really need rye when I could probably trade for it? That's something to think about. Anyway, as you can, since the AI will be expanding, I will be keeping my eye out that the AI preferably won't steal these 2 regions that I'm about to build on. And if I really want to, I can perhaps consider my backup in Iconal here, because they have a rich berry deposit and a rich iron deposit, but mostly it's the rich berries. Maybe I'll use that as a main export, who knows? And funnel all the extra resources to my main city? We'll see later. Anyway, the main topic of this video today, actually wanted to talk about, is the Burgage plots. Okay, the main thing I wanted to talk about is Burgage plots. So over here, I have this plot right here. It's basically a fan-shaped, irregular-shaped plot. Say right here. So this is at night, you can't really see. Thank goodness the highlights are actually very highlight and visible. So as you can see here, you have 2 options when you have a fan-shaped lot like this. You can have 2 very narrow backyard slots with a very wide housing area, which is usually good if you want to have, say, double houses or something like that. Whereas if you put it the other way around, you would have large fields but small houses. Now, this is the rule you want to abide by if you want to have, whether you want to have large fields for orchards or cabbage patches, versus if you wanted to have more houses but less of a field. So for something like this, this is perfect if you wanted the minimal size you want in order to achieve a smallest chicken coop or something like that. Now, as you can see here, as I'm dragging here with these 4 points, and this is the point I wanted to address to Tacticat, is that you have these 4 points of a quadrilateral here. And when we put down a Burgage plot, we are basically placing down the 4 points of the quadrilateral. Now, if we want to maximize the amount of housing space, what we are actually doing when we're placing down these plots is that we're defining how the outside perimeter of this plot is going to go around. But thankfully, we also have these roads, which the 4 points will snap to as you go around. So that's partially affected by this as well. But when you mess around with the vertices of the quadrilateral, you can see that by doing this right here, by fudging around the vertices of this quadrilateral, you are changing the angle of how the perpendicular cuts of each plot is given. So thereby, you can change the angle and the way how this pie, or this slice of the pie, is further divided and cut. Now, this can be useful or counterproductive if you do it improperly, in order to reduce the amount of waste you have. For example, if I place all 4 corners here, I can only create one really big plot and really one inefficient housing plot with minimal-ish around kind of farm space. But if I try to place the vertex right here, this road bump here or something like that, okay, or maybe here, you can see that I lost a little corner here, but then I have 2 plots which I can then filter down to something less, or ooh, 4 plots. Okay, let's see. So you can see that if I wanted to say splice this plot to be bigger and this plot to be smaller, so if it's a chicken coop or something like that, this would be a good idea. So if you want to share your plots irregularly or unfairly, so that if you really wanted to have 1 plot for farming and 1 plot for something that doesn't take up space, by all means you can do that. And as you can see here, my 4th point is like right here. So if I rotate it around here like this is ridiculous. Take a look at this extreme example. My housing plot is... oh, never mind. Let's see. Is it right here? Right. This one is ridiculously small, though, because if you interpret the way how the vertices are done here, this is the frontage of the Burgage. So this is technically considered another side. So the line is trying to cut as close to whatever this and this here is in the middle of, and can't really do quite well. So the computer calculates out so that the frontage of the whole house is whatever smallest thing you can get, but because it's so wide, it can fit the annex right here. Whereas this vertex to this vertex to this vertex is the farm area. So by reducing the frontage to something like this, and remember when you have roads, you can have a smaller corner. They can, aside from the vertex itself, it gives you these corner alternatives that you can put an inch or 2 away. Use these to your advantage. So if I put the frontage to be here, and then I set my other vertices to the other corners, I can... okay, maybe not this one. A bit more, maybe? Try and fudge around a bit. But then you can create, basically, different outcomes of how the yard size is to be calculated. So I think of all those different tries we just had, this one was actually best. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, what is this? Over 85% of the area is being put is a backyard. So I'm definitely gonna take this one. And this is going to be a good vegetable patch or a good orchard. So that's my spiel on how to maximize Burgage plots, and I hope this is of use to people who are looking to make use of spaces that require defining like this in future guides. Same thing goes for these triangular places like the marketplace right here. So this place can use 40 stall locations, and the plots I have put are actually here, 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 and here. So if you put a small frontage and then straighten out everything else with basically the alignment of the stalls you have, that way you can maximize the amount of, well, little X's here. Those who have done marketplaces, you will know. So, for example, if I force myself to a triangular space here like this, or a trapezoidal space right here, I'm just gonna put this temporarily here like that. Okay, so if I have this trapezoid right here, and I put down my 4 points right here, let's fudge around and take a look. I get 18 plots right here because the thing is misaligned, and you can see the top part is not used at all. 24, 24, 23, 19. So as you can see, why is this 24 one generating the most amount of stall locations? Okay, let's take a look. So you have the vertex here and the vertex here. Basically, the stalls will be aligned with this parallelogram here, and it's telling me that the stalls are aligned in this direction. So this is the amount alignment of the stalls that you can see that are being placed down here. And the more I try to, interesting. So it's not necessarily that they follow the shape of, actually they do. So when you create a quadrilateral with the vertices here, it will try to calculate the closest thing you can get with the shape of the 4 edges that you have created, and then it will try to align with the side that makes most sense, and then it will create different stall locations, or the size of the yards, as we have seen before. So, hope this helps, and certainly do fudge around. Don't just stick to the little corners, but use these little alternatives for help and try to maximize the space that you can find. So yeah, that's my little spiel on the art of placing down burgage plots, marketplaces, and anything that requires zoning in Manor Lords. Have fun in the game, and I hope you build a nice city out there.